Hello, and welcome to Out of Ore, a great, I was just about to say little, it's not little at all, a great mining simulation game. It's been around for a couple of years now, but they've done quite a few updates to it in that time, and it's now become quite a fun game. It's a grinder. Of the grinding games, this is probably one of the grindiest, but at the same time, it's still fun. Now, before we go any further, I would appreciate it very much if you hit that like button. Now, if you don't like what you then subsequently see, hit it again and it'll take the like away. The reason I ask for this is YouTube have changed the way that they acknowledge my efforts. Just viewing doesn't put me up in the ranks, and going up in the ranks is obviously the way you get to a point where you may get monetized or whatever. It's just the progression route. If you really like it, what I've done, please subscribe so you can see some more of my work. Doesn't cost you anything, but it means the world to me. And if you really dislike what I'm doing, hit the dislike button. It's still an interaction, but it lets me know that I'm not doing things right. Anyway, enough of the blurb. So as I said, Out of Ore. We're here. We've started in this huge open mine pit here that you see here. And you can see I've done a lot of mining up at this end, but I've been working down here. So let's go on down and have a look. I'm very sorry the game's a bit laggy. My powerful computer decided to give up the ghost, and I've had to move back to an older machine, though still a very good machine. I just find it a little bit janky. So anyway, we've been digging down here at the base of the quarry, and we were getting on very nicely. There's our fleet of machines that I so far have got. There's our little roller, which obviously you use to keep the voxel, the main floor, as smooth as possible. We've got the excavator that normally has a probe on it, which allows you to define deeply into the ground to see what's underneath your feet. You can also put a digging bucket on it, so if you really want to dig down, you can do that. As you can see, it looks brand new because it is, because in this scenario, it's almost completely bloody useless. There's our first little loader rather. Very good. That's what you'll start out with. Fairly cheap. I think it's about 48 grand, and that's great. Then you want to move up to this, which I think is the DX1000, which has got a much larger capacity on its shovel, and that's as far as we got. And we managed to dig quite a lot of the mountain away, quite a lot of the quarry, the sides of the quarry away. And also we built this elevator system, which dumps our produce into that silo, collector silo at the top there, which then puts it into my first factory, which was designed purely to deal with coal and pay dirt and dirt, because that's all we get out of this quarry. Now, I am told that there are more interesting things in this quarry, but you've got to go a long way down or across to find them. I hadn't got to that point. So anyway, happily digging here. Obviously made a bit of money to be able to afford to build all of this. I got these machines here. And then calamity hit. We had a crash. We had the market crash, or something happened. And I was no longer able to buy any new machinery. The truth is, a new update got installed and my experience level got wiped out and I was back to zero. I got to about somewhere around level 40, and I was just about to upgrade to the next bigger diggy machine, and I lost all of that. And after, I think at that point, about 60 hours of playing, I really, really didn't have the patience to start from scratch again, which is effectively what I'd have to do. But I still had all my machinery, so I could carry on as I was, but I bored to death of mining pay dirt and coal. I wanted to get onto other things. So anyway, let's just go and have a look round the factory quickly before I go on to tell you what I did. I'm cheating now. I've hit the map. I'm going to rescue me. I've got a waypoint set. Confirm. And that magically puts me at the top of the hill. Now, that's a bit cheaty, I know, but then I'm playing this single player. And quite frankly, playing single player is an absolute ball ache, you know, because you have to do everything. You need to move quickly. So I'm using whatever cheat I could get my hands on. So anyway, here's our production facility. So we start off here with our collector silos. So we dump ore into these. Actually, whilst I remember, there's another little thing that's useful to know. Every time you reload the game, you have to switch everything on again. So it's just open control panel, get that turned on, and off we go. And as you can see, everything starts running. All the pay dirt that was on the conveyor belts has just magically disappeared. So let's get some more pay dirt going through. So we just get in here and we'll consume. So that's a load of pay dirt going through. We'll talk about what's on the right of me in a minute. So this is my very basic factory. We start off here, we put, oh God, lag. Nothing I can do about it. Dead computer sat in the corner. I've got to just get on with what I've got. And I do apologise to viewers. Right, so this is a trommel. Now, basically what a trommel does is it separates pay dirt and dirt from everything else. Given that we're only putting pay dirt and coal into this, what that effectively means is all we will end up with in this silo is coal at the moment. But if I was to find something more exciting, I could end up with rock, I could end up with iron ore, I could end up with all sorts of things in here. But at the moment, if we just carry on the basic mining process that we had been playing the game with, up until the point of the crash where I was no longer able to get any more upgrades for my equipment. That's where we are. This is a wash plant, and from this you chuck pay dirt into this, and what you get out the other side is you get all the different types of ore. Hang on, let's go and have a look. Let's look up wash plant. Wash plant, and there it is. And as I say, pay dirt goes in. Oh, you meant to put water into this. Now, I'm pretty sure you didn't put water into this when I built this factory. That's one of the new upgrades. There has been a massive there's been a massive game upgrade in the last couple of weeks. Because of my computer crash, I've not been able to get online to really demonstrate any of this and to produce their videos. But out of it, you get gold ore, diamond ore, ruby ore, and silicon ore. So that's everything we're mining is dealt with by this wash plant. And over here, we end up with ruby ores, diamond ores, silicon ores, etc., etc., gold. And we either then sell those ores in their raw form and make quite a bit of money, or we come to our smelters into which we throw, this one's not doing anything, doesn't matter. We'll throw, say, gold ore into here, and you get gold bars come out the bottom of it, which are worth more. And over here we have little quick wash plants, which, again, you can chuck gold ore in. No, you chuck pay dirt in, I believe, and you'll get the ores come out. It's a wash plant. It's the same as the big one. But what it does do, it does bring out the diamonds and the rubies from diamond ore and ruby ore. So that's what all of these fellows do. So that was the basics. So at this point, so this is what I'd had set up. I didn't have all of these smelters. That's a very new, that's much newer. Because I went on to say, okay, well, I've got the machines. I could carry on mining from zero again, which I didn't want to do, as I've already explained. Or I could do something which a lot of people will say I'm cheating by doing this. And yes, in the, what's the phrase? In terms of a game, as a game, if you're going to play the game properly, yes, it probably is cheating. It's a shortcut. But in real life, and I've watched enough of the series Aussie Gold Hunters, that I know that people who have factories set up don't always themselves have access to mining facilities where they can mine useful material to process. So what they do is they buy it in. So I thought, okay, I want to carry on playing the game, but I don't want to start from scratch again. So I'm going to use, because I had about 1.5 million cash. I didn't really want to sell my machinery. So I thought, well, where can we go with 1.5 million cash? So I went, right, let's have a look. What can we buy? And if we go in and we type in pay dirt, we can buy pay dirt for $3 a unit. I thought, okay, let's just buy some and see how much profit I can make if I just buy it and process it. Is this worthwhile? So I bought a lot of pay dirt. It's an expensive way of doing things. And then I chuck my pay dirt into my hopper. And then I consume again. Now that's got my factory up and running. So I am now processing pay dirt, which I've paid for. You see why some people would say that's cheating. But it's not. In the real world, all I've done is I've turned myself from a miner into a factory manager. So now I'm just running a factory. I don't care where the dirt comes from. I obviously have to pay for the dirt because somebody else has done the work. So I'm just buying the dirt, I'm processing it, and then once it's refined, it's worth a hell of a lot more than the pay dirt's worth. So if we go and grab, say, for instance, some gold ore, let's grab gold ore and let's split this down. It's going to take a little while. Yeah, I don't know how to take one piece. Let's get this down. Now we grab 13 of them and we go into sell. I take 13 and suddenly my money goes up a fair bit. And I didn't actually see. Well, actually, let's purchase some gold ore. You see, gold ore's worth 45. So processing that pay dirt has literally put however much of it turns into gold ore has increased the pay dirt from $3, $2, $3 to $45 per unit. That's a good profit. That's a very good profit, very well worth doing. So I did that for a while. And then, of course, I'm also getting money from the rubies and diamonds that I'm making there. So I managed to get my money up pretty quickly. Oh, yes, and just the normal dirt that comes out, we just chuck straight into the hopper there, which is why you'll see my money up in the corner there is just constantly going up. That's just dirt. I'm just making money from selling the waste material at this point. So I thought, right, well, I was getting bloody bored with mining coal and pay dirt anyway. I want to do stone. So I set up this. I set up the stone processing plant. And we come up here. And in here, we have a series of 3 hoppers. Now, this is something I was trying to make the game do, because what happens if I use a loader and I dump a load of material into a hopper, the hopper will empty itself out till it's empty. If you put it into the hopper in any other way, what happens is you will only consume a certain amount. So if I now hit consume here, oh, I can't, because of course, sorry, this goes back to what I said. Every time you restart the game, you have to turn all the machines on. So turn the machine on, and that's now processing. We'll come along here. And if I now consume, oh, it's also because my hopper's full. I'm already consuming. So we go to the second hopper, we'll consume from there. So we only consume so much of the total capacity of the hopper. Anyway, that's a bug, problem, silliness of the game. So we take our stone, which, by the way, we buy stone for rock, and we buy solid rock. That's $5 a rock. So let's buy a few of those. Yep. We buy that. We chuck that in. So again, factory managing again. Some people might call it cheaty. I just call it being practical. And I want to make some money. That one's full. We'll drop in some more rock here. So that's fine. So that's this plant working. So how this plant works is you start off with... Hang on, let's get rid of that bloody tree. Do I not have an axe? I thought I had an axe. IP by an axe. Axe. Yep. Why is the game is being very slow and stupid? Oh, why? Right, let's get rid of that. So what we have here, we have a rock crusher, which then goes down to a cone crusher, which is this machine here. So one makes gravel, one makes dust. Then we have a floater, and that separates out, and you see the floater will take gravel in. It also takes water in. Again, I think that's something new because I haven't got this plumbed up, but it seems to work anyway. And out of here we get iron ore, copper ore, aluminium, silver, gold, lithium, and everything else we just chuck away at the moment because I don't think there's anything else worth having out of this. And then of course it goes off and gets stored into these silos. So we look in our silos, we have indeed got aluminium, copper, iron, lithium. Now lithium is the valuable one. That's the one you want. I mean, you want all of them. You can make money on all of these. But processing stone is incredibly more useful than actually pay dirt. You make more money out of it. So at this point, let's grab some... What have I grabbed? Aluminium. So we come along here, and this is the next part of the process to actually make some money. And if I grab my aluminium ore, let's just make 100 aluminium. Drop that in there. So that's now making us aluminium bars. So if we have a look quickly, we should already have some. Oh, yes, there we go. See, we've made an aluminium bar. And that is why I have so many of these smelters here. They're all quite full of stuff. So I've got thousands of lithium, 5,000 aluminium, 6,000 silver. And that's why I set so many of these up. And all of these processing continuously, plus all of those ones down by the old factory continuously. After about another... I'd played for about 50 hours when I lost my ability to buy new machinery. But I've now played for about another 100 hours just doing this. Just keep going round and round and round, chucking pay dirt into this factory and chucking stone into the other factory. I'm sorry about all the clipping. The game is not very responsive at the moment. And let's just... See, this is what I mean. You have to keep consuming, which gets a bit tedious. I do hope they fix that soon. Make life so easy. And this is the other thing. This is where we drop all the tailings in from the rock processing plant. And again, we earn money out of that. Why is this one stopped again? Consume. So, it's still one hell of a grind doing this. But what we're going to do today is we're going to clean out process as we've been doing it so far. Or shall I just quickly show you this? I might as well just go through and show you the new stuff. So this is the latest thing. This is I've only had this for a few weeks now, since the very latest updates have been done. And what they've done is they've allowed a lot more automation. They've put water processing in. You can now buy water plants and water pumps and things like that. And all the wash plants, you know, should really have to plumb in to make them work efficiently. But they seem to work anyway, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. We've got some ore going in here. What have I got? I've got iron ore, so we'll consume that. Ah, yes, of course. You have to turn all your machines back on. I don't know why it switches them off when you exit the game. I can't see what difference it makes, but there we go. It is a thing. So that's now consuming. And if we go along and have a look, what we have here is a smelter. There's also a hot smelter. Now this smelter, well, okay, we'll look at the components in a second. We then go into a bar roller, so that takes liquid smelted product and turns it into various bars, and then we store those in this silo, and then you see we've got our gold, copper, silver, iron, etc bars. I've been running that for about 10 hours, and my god, does that speed the process up for doing all of this. So let's just have a quick look. Oh, stop clipping. Right, P smelter. So we have, that's the little smelters I showed you first. This is smelter. That's what we're using. So that'll do iron, copper, silver, gold, platinum, and lithium. And then we've got the high temperature smelter, which will do steel, aluminium, and silicon. Now, I haven't got one of these set up yet. That's going to be the next thing. It can produce steel just from iron ore. So that is the setup. Am I cheating? To some people, yes. Am I being pragmatic? Yes. I had a problem. I solved the problem. There we go. Not embarrassed. I don't care. So what we'll do is we're going to have a little clear up. So let's go off here. And let's start in here. Now this is after about 100 hours of just doing this. And I'm rather hoping it's going to be profitable. So let's just grab, no, grab. I'm not going to do the rubies and diamonds. I like having the rubies and diamonds set back just in case there's a problem. Let's grab all of that. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of stuff. Rather a lot of lithium. Lots and lots in that one. Oh, this is going to be a good payday. Let's grab all of that. Sorry, I could just zip through all of this. Oh, my mouse is playing up now. Yeah, I think this might actually be just a little bit too much for my my quite powerful but quite old Pentium i7. Sorry, not Pentium. My i7. I'm running a 3070 Nvidia card in a 36 an i7 3600 with 30 gig of RAM, and I just don't think it's quite enough for this, especially with the game, especially as I've got quite a complicated setup now, because there's a lot going on here with all of these machines and factories. I have to be a bit patient with it, but it's a bit painful for you, I'm afraid, watching it. You're still doing stuff, so we'll just grab what you've got in you anyway. Okay, that's the aluminium finished as well, so let's grab that. And we'll just carry on. See where we get to. We're going to run out of slots soon. So we're clearing these smelters up. What to do with these now? I don't know yet. I haven't made a decision as to whether to get rid of them all. Okay, we've got to sell something. So let's go and hit the shop. Purchase, sell. I'm going to hold back my lithium ore. Oh, that's aluminium ore. And we'll just get rid of the aluminium to start with. Hopefully we can... No, it won't be enough. And I'll get rid of the silver as well. Not hugely valuable. Aluminium. Aluminium. Silver. Oof. It'll be tight. Gonna have to sell some more stuff. See, that's already taken us up to 12 million. Nice. But then after 100 hours of gameplay, I would expect to have made quite a lot of money. Silver and lithium. Lithium. Again, sorry, very boring, I know, but we'll get there. Not very far now. We've only got about another 5, 6 smelters to go through. I'm going to have to do something. Obviously, I haven't got something set right. My frame rates, I've just noticed, are right down to 30 frames per second. And that isn't acceptable, but I'm afraid that's all I can do at the moment. Let's sell that. I think the computer's running slowly as well. It might be that I've just got too much stuff running in the background, which might be a problem. I hope that's the case. But we'll get through this. I mean, this is just a quick introduction. This isn't going to be a game playing session. I'll be winding this up in a second anyway. Silver, that, iron, and what else we got? Anything else? Silver. And we'll sell the logs as well. And they must be worth all of 5 pence. Oh, a couple $100. So, did we clear this one? No. Lad, I checked. I'm going to have to get my main machine repaired. I've only had it a month, sadly. And it's either the motherboard or the processor or both have decided to give up. Made me sad when it happened. But hey ho, that's life. Okay, here. We haven't got many more to do. We're nearly there. Nearly there. Don't you see the sea yet, Dad? Nearly there. How much further? Nearly there. Right. So that's all our smelters cleaned out. We'll just chuck the aluminium ore into here. Aluminium ore. And that will boosh through that very quickly. Consume. And that is that processed. Is that fast? Oh, except it hasn't, because you can't process aluminium ore through a normal smelter. You have to have a high temperature smelter. Of course you do. Anyway, let's do our clear out. How much have I made? So we're already up to 17 million. I think we were on about 5 million when we started. So far, we've done well. We've made 5 off that. We've made 12 million already. Let's start chucking it in. And Bosh. And unfortunately, this is a manual process. I mean, obviously, when I get the this smelting plant set up, I will have a drop point. I've just put all the output straight into a drop point to start with, just to turn it into money. But it will be nice with the mechanization is available from the new equipment. I can roll bars and plates and things like that, all construction materials, which I can use continuing on in the game. And that would be rather fun to do, which means I won't have to pay for anything, which obviously puts my profit up even more. But what I really want to do is I want to find a mining site where I can actually mine stone so I don't have to pay for it. And I want to get bigger kit, because ultimately this game is about the mining. It's a grinder, as I said, and it's all about grinding and the relentless going backwards and forwards of the mining industry, and getting the sheer joy of pulling profit straight out the ground. So we, just from doing that, we've taken ourselves to $72.5 million. And you'll notice that my experience level is now 70. That means through changing from being a miner to becoming a factory manager, I have effectively become so rich that I can now afford every type of mining device that I could dream of. We'll have a look at those quickly. We're going to wrap this up quite soon, but we will just do a couple of things quickly. Let me just come over here, and we'll grab everything out of here. Well, we won't. We won't do silicon. Silicon I can't process yet. I need the high temperature. I don't want to process the silicon actually because I think silicon is worth more in its raw form because the computery people like to process it themselves. They don't want mucky miners producing silicon ores which will be so contaminated that they'll never be useful for making silicon chips or anything useful. All these wash plants are working away. I don't need to refill these yet, so that's fine. As I said, we're not going to touch those. So now we have... Oh, that's the other thing. I am holding in abeyance. I do still also have all of this ore to be processed through. So that's thousands and thousands. Because how these hoppers work is you set up your first hopper and that will just fill up. And it will only fill the second hopper when the first hopper is full up. Again, a little bit buggy. I would like some way of being able to sort ores out and you put them into individual hoppers. I'll have a think about that. Let's just get up here. Let's get this processing and we'll see what we've had sat there. And I'm going to leave that first hopper full because, again, it's nice to have something in abeyance just in case problems in future. Right, let's get that consuming. We get the copper ore in there. So, that's the basics. I'm just looking for a good place to photograph. Where can I get a good view of everything? Can't really. Let's get rid of these trees. So, 4. And top tree. That's that one. God. Yeah, this game is struggling. I'm really, really pushing it. Cut that one down. Now, do I get a view now? Yes. So we'll just take a screenshot of that. My Nvidia's not working. Okay, so another bug I've got to deal with. Oh, I hate having to set systems up from scratch again. How are we doing here? Let's just go in here. Consume. We might as well get more stuff processing whilst we're at it. Whilst we wait for those to go through. Eat, consume. That's that plant running. Go down this way. Consume. And I always love watching stuff come out onto the conveyor belts. There we go. Filling up my lovely, lovely factory with lots of new things to make money with. Oh, off we go. And you see here, that's the tailings going into that one. And that's earning me money, believe it or not. That's just throwing rubbish away. And I'm making, I think they were worth £1 a unit. I don't know what a unit is, whether that's a kilo or a ton. The game doesn't explain that. It's just a unit. That's nearly done. We're just going to complete this through. We'll finish after that's done. Well, I'll sell it and then we'll find out just like how much money we got. So consume some more, keep that going. Then we'll get this one going as well. Consume. That will keep that one going. And then we'll see if we got anyone in. No, we haven't got anything in there. Go back over here. Derpy, derpy, derp. Consume. I think that's everything in there. Yep. So we'll just go and have a look to see how much ore we've created already. Yep, see, look, we've already just in that short space of time since the clear out, we've created that much more ores again. And how much pay dirt? What have we got from the pay dirt? And we're back up to that many gold and more silicon and what have you. But once you get all this set up, it's very, very profitable to do. We'll just go and clean this one out. And okay, that'll do that. And let's just go and have a look. So now, when I go in, after all that work, what can I buy? Well, I can buy anything. It's all open to me. So, for instance, I could buy this fella here. Only 2.5 million. That's a big excavator. I'd get one of those for a bit of fun. I could get a grader for a little bit of fun. Haven't played with one of those. I could get tunnelers. Any of these. I could buy all of these. Could buy every single thing in this menu. Now. We'll probably go to start with. I want that one, actually. I do want to play with that one. The Charlton EX800FS. Let's have a look at its specifications. Oh, it digs 18.4 cubic meters a shovel load. And what does this one do? And that one does 37 meters cubed per shovel load. Might be buying that one first, actually. That looks more fun. Let's have a look to see. I've got to buy a lorry. No point playing this game unless you get a Tonka truck. So, no. P, that's what I want. So, Tonka, road trucks. Road trucks, yes. How much is that? Well, of course we're going to buy the Arvik HT400E for $6 million. We might even get a little one, that one, just only $5 million. Anyway, right, we should have finished processing that through. Yep, that's all gone. What have we got in our silo? Come on down here. I am so sorry about the speed and the clippiness. It's driving me mad as well, to be honest. Right, you see, as I said, aluminium doesn't process. That has to go through our hot smelter. Let's get that. Let's grab everything out of here. It should be quite a lot. There should be a fair amount of money here. We won't bother with the aluminium ores. We'll process that through another time when we have the right kit. Sell. I mean, the iron's going to be worth a lot of money because I just have so much of it. Iron. There we go. Stop repeating yourself. It's terribly boring. Sell those logs quickly. 3 logs. Okay. Let's get rid of the gold. Let's get rid of the copper. Let's get rid of more gold. Ooh, are we going to do it? Lithium. Yes. Nice. Lovely. Right. We've gone from 5 million, 5.5 million to 82 million in the bank. I'd say that's a good day's work. Well, it's not. It's 100 hours. I don't know quickly off the top of my head. Is that a week? Is that 2 weeks' work? So a week or 2 weeks' work. I've made myself a cool 77 million quid. I can now buy any toy I want. I've got the experience for any toy I want. So, whether you call it cheating, I call it astute business. I can now go back to playing this game as it's meant to be played. And hopefully it doesn't crash me out again and lose my experience. In the next episode, I will probably be looking to combine my factories so that basically everything will be processed. There'll be just one drop-off point, and that one drop-off point will feed the whole factory complex, and we will process every material, outputting it into sensible silos with similar types of materials gathered together. If I can do that. And I might also then be doing some proper digging mining. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a comment if you think I'm cheating. And I look forward to reading any comments that you give. But hit the like button. Please subscribe. And feel free to comment. Be rude if you want. I've got a thick skin. Anyway, I hope to see you again. Goodbye.